Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I was stuck in the bathroom. Explosive diarrhea.
I have never appreciated a solid stool as much as I do right now.
Fast and Faithers, we're going to check out this video of my homegirl, the Bahamian Gyal. She does a lot of great videos. I love it that she covers a variety of subjects, and now she's covering Ozempic in this one. Ozempic is very popular now, and the different names of the other ones. There's about 3 different ones, and they all do the same thing. But you can get the same benefits from fasting without the side effects. This video is about the nightmares of Ozempic. Here we go.
The weight loss trend strikes again.
This morning, the manufacturers of Ozempic and Mounjaro, the diabetes drug popular for aiding in weight loss, are facing a lawsuit regarding alleged side effects.
A Nashville law firm is jumping in on a list of people suing the makers of diabetic drugs like Ozempic.
You've seen 100 drug commercials on television. They all list all these side effects. Well, they underplayed a major sickness.
People on Ozempic for weight loss say that they are pooping their pants and their beds.
A woman will suffer
Poop in their pants and their beds. That's some of the side effects of Ozempic. Wow. Now, let me tell you something. You don't get those side effects with fasting. Now, you do get liquid stool, but you don't poop your pants and your bed from fasting. Oh, did I say it was free too?
diarrhea for the rest of her life after taking Ozempic, and she is one of dozens who are suing.
Whenever I would self-inject on Thursdays,
How is it worth it to have diarrhea for the rest of your life to lose 5 pounds, 10 pounds, even 20 pounds? I don't understand.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I was stuck in the bathroom. Explosive diarrhea.
I have never appreciated a solid stool as much as I do right now. Hello, everyone. My name is Rogan, and this is Bahamian Gyal. On my platform, I do solid stools. I do solid stools. What a flip. I do. What the hell I do on this platform? Oh, I do reaction. I do social commentary and reaction videos. I do social commentary and reaction videos. I encourage my audience to have private conversations in public. And I do solid stools. What a flip. So before I get started, I want to thank all of my new...
She's crazy. She's crazy. But you ain't nothing wrong with a nice solid stool. That's for sure.
subscribers. I know a lot of you are new around these parts. And of course, I want to thank my day ones and my members, my channel members. I love you guys so much. So let's just get right to the video. The lawsuits against Ozempic are stacking up. I believe it's now at 55 and counting for people who have had adverse effects and reactions to Ozempic that they say was not completely articulated to them by the doctors who are prescribing this medication. Now, this medication, as I mentioned earlier, was prescribed or devised rather for those individuals who are who have type 2 diabetes and needed to manage that. But one of the things I think people are not talking about enough are these gastrointestinal issues that are coming up as a result of using Ozempic. I know a lot of you are...
What people don't realize is that what Ozempic does, and the other drugs, I think there's like 3 or 4 of them, it slows the digestion. So your food stays in your stomach longer before moving on. That's what this does. That's not healthy. That's actually unhealthy. And it messes you up. From what I understand and what I believe and I've read and most people believe is that's what, what's her name? Elvis Presley daughter died from. She was on Ozempic. That's what I believe and I understand. I can't prove it. That's not good. That's supposed to slow the food from moving how it's supposed to move naturally. That's going to mess you up. That's what Ozempic does.
Very familiar with Ozempic face, courtesy of a lot of these celebrities who are on Ozempic. And what it is really is this gaunt look that people get after taking this medication. They tend to have more...
These people look like zombies. Like they just came out of the old Michael Jackson Thriller video. They look like Thriller, Thriller night. Dun, 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 dun.
hollows under their eyes, their sagging skin. It's like premature aging to their skin. So one of the reasons why people with type 2 diabetes love it is because it lowers their A1C. And one of the benefits, I suppose, is the weight loss that comes along with it. Of course, individuals who are not diabetic are now taking Ozempic and Wegovy, and they take Mounjaro and other weight loss treatments.
Wegovy and Mandela, that's the other ones.
From these injections, but Ozempic seems to be the one that's in the news a lot because of these unintended side effects that people have been having. So a lot of these lawsuits stem from the fact that these people say that the company didn't adequately warn them of the effects, the side effects that Wegovy and Ozempic would have on them. And yes, I think doctors do have an obligation to giving you, the full gamut of what could possibly happen. But the full gamut is also impossible because you just never know how somebody is going to react to it. How Rogan reacts to Ozempic.
Right, everybody's body is different. Same thing with fasting. One thing I can tell you, you will lose weight. How much will you lose? And how fast will you lose depending on your body. But you will lose weight with fasting, and you won't get the zombie thriller, the dun 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 thriller night face. And you won't get diarrhea. I have never gotten diarrhea. I know you get loose stools, and the easiest way to fix that through fasting, when you're fasting, is by drinking fiber pills. I don't know if that would help these folks. They never asked me.
Be vastly different from how you, Tony, react to Ozempic, and then sometimes things crop up later on. The drug hasn't been on the market that long for people to say these are an absolute list, or this is an absolute list of how many symptoms you're going to have and how it's going to affect you. So it's always a risk. And one of the things that I realized too is that when people are so hell bent on a result, and the result is I want to lose weight and I want to lose it quickly, they seem to kind of like ignore what is being said. Like, take a listen to those commercials when they come on, whether they're advertising heart medication or if you have cancer and they're advertising something that can help you manage or tolerate your chemotherapy better. I never ever look at the ad. I listen to the ad. So when it starts playing and they introduce what it is, I always find myself like looking away from the ad, because sometimes they will have like, oh, this party scene going on in the background, people doing this.
They always having a good old time. I don't see nobody there with diarrhea. They're having a good old time. Nobody there got the zombie thriller face. They just having a ball. That's not by mistake. They want you to think that this thing is the best thing that was ever invented. Till you take it and you're stuck in bed for 3-4 days with diarrhea.
Like coordinated dance routine, and I'm like not interested in that. I want to know what the symptoms are, so I deliberately will look away from my TV screen and just listen to like all of the side effects that they're saying. Let me also say that I find that some doctors are a little too eager to just pass Ozempic on to their patients. So I'll tell a personal story. I wanted to lose some weight. And I'm old school. Like when I say old school, I believe changing diet and exercise is the way to go. I remember when they had like Hydroxycut, they still have Hydroxycut, I believe. But I remember taking 2 of those pills and my heart felt like it was going to pound out of my chest.
You're not the only one. I remember taking Hydroxycuts too. I ended up in the hospital because I felt the same way. I thought my heart was going to come out of my chest. They told me it's the same effect that cocaine has when you take Hydroxycuts. Just to try to lose a couple pounds.
Like crazy. And I said, I will never take like a supplement, and I will.
That's before I started fasting, by the way. Before I discovered the benefits of fasting. And by the way, when I say fasting, just know that I'm not talking about 20, you don't have to do 21 days, 38. You can simply do the 16-8 to start, see how it affects. Then you can do maybe a 24-hour. So you adjust according to how you feel, especially if you're new, and according to what you're trying to lose. But you're not going to get all these side effects and the craziness and the thriller face and no. And it's free. Nobody has to prescribe this to you. And they never will, because they can't make money from it.
Never, ever, by the grace of God and the power of Grayskull, take Wegovy or Ozempic or any of that stuff.
She's funny. By the grace of God and the power of Grayskull. He-Man did it. Wow, she took it back. That's cool.
But I went to a doctor, and luckily this doctor, she's not my regular doctor, she was filling in for my doctor, and she was all about like, you need to change your diet and just work out. I got like a prescription to go to a nutritionist. And I remember going to the nutritionist, and the first thing that the person said was, well, do you want to just get on like Ozempic? And I was just like, no. Shouldn't we just like kind of go through like what I eat in a given day and see like how I can switch things around? It was just like immediately she wanted to just go right to that. And that was like a red.
That's why people love that drug, because you don't have to, you're not changing your life. You're not stopping eating the craziness. If you would just change your diet and incorporate some form of fasting, 1 meal a day, powerful, you will see so much results. But people want to eat whatever they want, as much as they want, and take a magic pill. That's not realistic. I mean, it is. It's realistic, but there will be some side effects, and many of the side effects you're not going to enjoy. We have to take accountability for what we put in our mouth, when we put it in our mouth.
Flag for me. I definitely think sometimes people will go to doctors who are very gung-ho to just give them these things, and they go about their way. But I also think sometimes the patient pressures these doctors and these nutritionists, like, because they are lazy in some respects, and this isn't everyone, but there are some people who are lazy and they don't want to do it the old way, the old school way. They just want to get a shot and be on their way.
I do worry when I see people who are showing up to our practice who say, I got a wedding in 6 weeks, I got to lose 10 pounds, put me on this drug.
What are the long-term worries that you have? And this could just be a generalization. Like if somebody is maybe not a pure health candidate that's doing it because they want to tighten up that 10 pounds or 20, like what do you see as the long-term risk?
That's part of the problem, Michael. I don't think we know. And that's the problem I have with really being able to tell my patients, like, this is a lifelong strategy. And that's what I say to patients as well. I'm like, look, I think there's probably a net benefit to you doing this in the short term, so let's give it a shot.
Short term meaning?
Let's do this for a year. I think what I'm limited by is the duration of the studies.
That's an excellent point that he just made. I think what disheartens me, and this is going to be a real quick reaction because I think he was just right to the point, is that people are using this just, it's like 10 pounds, you want to lose 10 pounds in 2 weeks. I think doctors say that it's safe to lose a pound a week. That's what I've been told. I think the max I probably...
A pound, 2 pounds, and even 3 pounds, depending on how heavy you are, is safe. If you're really, really heavy and you cut down your diet, you might lose more. But 2 pounds, even 3 pounds, depending on how heavy you are, you're fine.
Would want to lose in a week is 5 pounds. So you could do that just from restricting your diet for the 2 weeks and doing some sort of workout rather than taking this drug where a doctor just admitted, many doctors have admitted that they don't even know what the long-term consequences are. Like we are, it's almost like these people are becoming guinea pigs, and then there's a case study that'll be done later on to show what happened. Like this lady with the incessant diarrhea that she'll have for the rest of her life. Let me, I just don't think y'all understand. Have you all ever had diarrhea? We friends, we could just talk. Let me tell you something, that is the worst feeling in the world. It just feels like you're so scared to drink anything. You're scared to eat anything. Your quality of life is immediately hampered because it's like you don't know if you can go out anywhere because you don't know if it's going to strike. It's just a constant fear. Because who wants to... Don't ever smell diarrhea. Okay, let me leave it right there. So I don't want to gross y'all out too much on this video.
The things they don't tell you about Ozempic, Mounjaro, or however you say that damn medicine. Business. And I did vomit once. But yeah, it goes away in about 2 weeks. And then it settles down and it's fine. And it quiets the food noise. And you're good to go. But like, damn.
Luckily for her, it subsided. She said it went away for her in 2 weeks, but I've seen other people commenting like there's...
Wow, vomit, pooping all day. I don't understand. How's that worth it?
It's like a recurrent problem. So, woo, that's rough. and they want to lose weight, and all they think about is food constantly. That's what they're talking about with that food noise. You're constantly thinking about what you can eat, and it helps that food noise be quieted, so they're not thinking about food constantly. And because it's an appetite suppressant, so she says it's been 4 days of waterfalls. Ugh. I've heard people say that the weight comes back once you stop, and I'll tell you why the weight comes back.
Wow.
Because people's habits have not changed.
Right. Can you imagine go through all that suffering, all that pain, all that discomfort, lose a couple pounds, stop, and you gain it all back? So all that pain, all that suffering, all that discomfort was for naught, for nothing. That's not worth it. Fasting helps. Changing your diet helps. And if you continue and maintain your fasting and your diet, you will continue to maintain that weight. That's crazy.
You find people who are on Ozempic or Mounjaro, whatever. They're still eating ice cream and pizza, right, and all these crazy things that they should have limited, right? Because they didn't do the foundational work. They didn't stop eating poorly or drinking a bunch of beers or sodas or whatever. They didn't stop any of that stuff. And they just took a drug that helped them to lose the weight. And so they figured, I can have the best of both worlds. I can eat whatever the hell I want and I can still lose the weight. But if you plateau or your insurance drops you, because that happens as well if you're on Ozempic and, you know, it's a costly drug, and your insurance company says, you know what, you're just too costly, we're going to drop you and now you can't afford it, you're going to gain that weight back because you never did the foundational work to stop eating poorly, drinking poorly, having a sedentary lifestyle where you're not moving. So that's what's going to happen. That's inevitable. But if you had made changes while you were losing this weight, then I feel like you would have been able to maintain it. Let's talk about the burping aspect of it, because this was something that I definitely have been reading on, is this sulfuric burp smell. Anybody who knows anything about sulfur, it's stinky.
The OZ, it's working. Yeah. Any side effects?
Yeah.
What is it?
The main one is the burps.
Genuinely the worst thing I've ever smelled in my life.
So
I'm not even joking, dude.
We were on the plane yesterday, or the other day. We sat together.
That's because the food is just sitting there, not digesting. That's what it does. It slows it from digesting properly. And then what do you think it's doing? The food is actually rotten in your body because it's not digesting. So it's staying there and it's getting all nasty. And you ever leave some food in your counter? Let's say you forgot and left it on the counter after a while. It starts to stink. That's what happened. So there's the gases are releasing. It's from the food not being digested. So it's just rotting in your body. That's the smell. That's not healthy.
And I had it really bad, and it's literally like you're burping up rotten eggs.
So then we're sitting there, dude, and it smells like we're like in
I'm
the air.
cranking these things out like every couple of minutes.
But you're doing like those kind of like
I'm doing this. I'm doing the the fat girl in a bar. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. Dude, I thought there was a sewage problem on the plane, and then we were at the ship on Friday, and I'm like, this place has a sewage problem too. I'm like, this is great. I'm like, what's going on?
I've seen too many comments with too many.
You are hanging with the sewage problem, brother. The brother burping out sewage.
People talking about this very thing that this gentleman is talking about, like the incessant burping and the smell. I would not want to be seated next to anybody who's burping that up, and that smells so stink, man. Yuck. The diarrhea is one thing. Now even if you don't have diarrhea, you just keep burping incessantly and it smells like rotten eggs. Nasty. If you've lost weight and that's it, good for you.
I remember when I was heavy and I was overeating, I know exactly what kind of burp that is, because I did the same thing, except I was overeating and my body couldn't digest the food fast enough. I remember that. And I would burp these burps and I'd be like, man, people around me would be like, whoa. And that's what it was. Wow, it's the same effect. I didn't know that Ozempic and Mounjaro, those drugs, did the same thing. My problem was it was too much food. So the food was sitting there, petrifying or rotting, and taking slow to be digested, and I'm burping up the gas because my body can't control it. Ozempic and these other drugs, they prevent that from the food from being digested. So it's the same thing. So then they burping up petrified or rotten food. I know exactly what they're talking about. That's crazy. That's some horrible smells, man.
Who are suffering with incessant diarrhea, gastrointestinal problems, nausea, sulfuric burping, sallow skin, aged skin. Your face looks much older because of this stuff. I feel for you. I would just stop. I don't care. I'd rather be fat than to be poopy all day.
You don't have to be fat. That's the thing. Fasting and faith for health. Change what you eat, how much you eat, when you eat. The less you eat continuously, the better you'll be. You're listening to me, you listening to this and you think about Ozempic, don't. Try what I'm about to tell you first. First thing, stop snacking. Eat 3 meals a day if you're snacking. If you're not snacking, eat 2 meals a day and skip 1 meal. Preferably, I would prefer you skip dinner. But if dinners, you eat with your family, whatever, then skip breakfast. That way you are fasting and your first meal will be 1 o'clock. And then you eat your last meal, try to eat it no later than 7, 6 o'clock, 5, depending on how it affects you. Me personally, I rather eat in the morning because I know I'm going to digest that food. And then by the time I go to sleep, right now I'm doing OMAD, 1 a day. By the time I go to sleep, I'm fine because my food takes so long to digest. So the last thing I would do is eat at night. I'd rather eat in the morning, OMAD. Now, if you eating 2 meals a day right now, cut down to 1. Eat 1 a day. Change what you're eating. Go low carb. Preferably go vegan. Preferably. If you don't want to go vegan, go vegetarian. But stay away from cheeses. Preferably. Stop eating meat, preferably. If you all going to eat meat, eat grass-fed. Not a lot. But preferably, I would cut out the meat. I would go vegan, preferably. And I would eat no more than 1, 2 meals a day. No snacks. You really want to see results? Vegetables and fruits only. 1 or 2 meals a day. You really want to see results? 1 meal a day, vegetables and fruits, as much as you want. 1 nice meal. Walk for at least an hour. Try to walk an hour a day. If you can do 2 hours, perfect. If you can just do a half an hour walk, 15 minutes that way, 15 minutes this way, perfect. But stay consistent with that every single day for 2 or 3 to a month. Try it for a month before you go on these drugs. And I guarantee you will see results. No diarrhea, no nasty burping, and no Michael Jackson Thriller face. And if you need my help, email me at fastingandfaithforhealth@gmail.com. I can coach you. Subscribe, like, comment, support the channel through Patreon, Cash App, or products, merchandise. God bless you and be with you. I can do it. I did it, and I'm doing it. You can do it. Take care. Check you on the other one. And go check the sister out, Bahamian Gyal. She has some good content. Bye-bye. Don't forget, God wants us to prosper and be in good health. God bless you and be with you. Try fasting. It's better, safer, healthier. Subscribe, like, and please support the channel through merchandise, Patreon, PayPal, Cash App. God wants you to prosper and be in good health. 3 John 1:2. Bye-bye.